Guys, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Deadly Departed. We're going to talk about something that a lot of people ask me about quite regularly, and a recent question made me think, I should really do a video on this. And people are asking, how do I develop my spiritual power, and how do I develop more discernment? So we're going to talk about that when we come back. We're going to talk about spiritual power and the discernment and how it kind of intermingles with each other, and that there is no hard and fast rule apart from the rule that you set yourself. So when we come right back, spiritual power and discernment. God bless. Okay guys, welcome back. So we're talking about spiritual power and discernment. What is spiritual power and what is discernment? Well, discernment, first of all, is being able to understand the subtle changes, the subtle vibrational changes, being able to discern something as being good for you or bad for you or not quite right. And in terms of that, we're talking about spirit. We're talking about being able to discern the spirit, whether the spirit is good, whether the spirit is negative, who the spirit is. Obviously discerning, obviously information, as well as being able to pick up on those vibrations, being able to understand them at a deeper level, and to be able to translate that. So discern that message, to translate that into the right information. And of course, spiritual power is the power that's inherent within you, and how do you make it stronger? We're not talking about sitting in the power, or what has been coined many years ago by Gordon Higginson and stuff. We're not talking about sitting in the power. We're talking about spiritual power, which is it might have a correlation, but at the end of the day, spiritual power is really what's going to fuel your discernment and your understanding of discernment. How you develop spiritual power, it's not just about exercises, okay? It's not just about learning how many books that you read or how many workshops that you attend. You're going to attend as many workshops as you want. It won't make you a brilliant medium. You can get as much theory as you want. It won't make you a brilliant medium. You'll get theory and you'll understand a little bit more, but it will not make you who you think you are. It will not make you a better medium, a more accurate medium. Certain exercises and certain things that you do are certainly going to help you to understand and make a connection and develop that ability more. But your spiritual power that is within you, that is the key to really everything in your life. But how do you develop that? Well, see, here's the thing. A lot of people think, if they learn so much from a YouTube channel, or they learn so much from a video, or they learn from going on a workshop, that is them on that path. That is a tiny, tiny, tiny aspect. That's not necessarily going to develop your spiritual power. You hold the key to developing your spiritual power. And let me give you an example. How you live your life dictates how you develop that spiritual power. Spiritual power is very easy to develop in two main respects, and that is, well, let's say maybe actually three. We'll talk about spiritual awareness and prayer. Spiritual awareness, spiritual action, and prayer. That's the way that I break it down. Prayer is the currency of the soul. Prayer helps us to focus our intent and helps us to raise the vibration within us. But spiritual power in itself is about you. It's about your journey. It's about how you not only perceive things, but how you take action upon things, how you deal with things in life. For instance, being mindful about things that you eat, or being grateful, having thankful. This kind of jumps on from the video we did last week as well. So being thankful for things, truly being thankful, understanding through your spiritual awareness, your spiritual action, understanding the ramifications and the reality of what love is, what forgiveness is, and what compassion is. A compassionate heart will help you to develop spiritual power. Now, if you are if you're a person that will just get involved in gossip, or will talk about people, or revels in other people's suffering, you're only going to be able to develop your spiritual power to a certain extent. You're not going to be able to break through that, because true spiritual power is coming from a non-judgmental point. It's coming from an understanding of deep love, from a love without conditions perspective, without non-judgment, to listen intently to someone and to be a part of their space, and to be thankful for that, to allow people to have their thoughts and their opinions, to see the beauty in a flower, to see the wonder and the miracle and the majesty of the day, to be aware of your continual thoughts when they're becoming negative, discerning your thoughts. Your spiritual power, as it increases, will help you discern even better, to be able to discern good, bad, negative energies, positive energies, positive vibrational energies from the other side. But your spiritual power is something that you have to work on. It's not something you're going to learn on a course. It's not something you're going to learn online. It's not something you're going to learn from sitting in circles. It's something, yes, you will get to a certain point in a circle. Yes, you'll learn mechanics of things, and yes, you'll raise your vibration. But your spiritual power is the power that's inherent in you, that you develop from every living second, every moment. If you live in the moment, okay, and you don't live in the past, and you don't live, because here's the reality, is to live in the moment. You'll never arrive in your future, okay, because the future never arrives. You never get to your future, okay. The future is something you perceive as an illusion in your mind. It is not something that you will arrive in. So why worry so much about that? The past is gone, okay? You can't go back and change the past, so why live in it? The reality is that your spiritual power develops in the moment that you live, the moments that make up your life, the moments that make up your existence. And being aware of your thoughts and your action, your spiritual awareness and your spiritual action, is what helps you to develop spiritual power. How you communicate with others, how you communicate effectively with people, how you accept people in a non-judgmental way, how you hold yourself in conversation, and how you can be respectful and compassionate about other people's journeys or about other people's suffering. How you can see suffering and see it from a deeper level. Your spiritual power is something that you'll develop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The secret is in being aware of your thoughts and being able to discern and control those thoughts and move them from a point of negativity when you recognize it to something more positive, or as Joe would say to me, flip that switch. And as you continually strive toward understanding yourself, understanding your feelings, understanding the passion and the compassion that you have in your life, and how you can be compassionate in all aspects of your interactions in life, and even your thoughts, even when you study, when you read a book, when you listen to music, to have an awareness of a deeper aspect of that, of how yourself is developing. All of those things help you to develop your spiritual power. It's not in what you eat, whether you're vegan, or whether you are some kind of new age guru that, you know, that's continually meditating. These things are just tools that help you to gain an awareness of something. But your spiritual power is something that develops within you and develops every single moment of your existence. That's very simply how you develop spiritual power. Very simply, you are the power, and you develop that power. You harness your divine authority that is within you to connect with that energy from a higher source. One of the things that I try to do daily is to be aware of how my thoughts are interacting, not only in my self, but how my thoughts are outwardly expressing themselves to others in an energetic form and even within a materialistic form. How the way that I will answer someone, or the way that I will think about someone, carries that energy, albeit positive or negative. And to have an awareness that I don't want to send out a negative vibe is something that we're continually working on. And that's something then that develops your spiritual power to a new level. As I said, it's not about, you know, I can grab as many books around us as I want and learn theory. Theory doesn't make action. Spiritual awareness and spiritual action is what will actually help to develop your spiritual power. To become more mindful of all the moments that you have in your life. To become more mindful of those times that you are suffering in your own mind, or that others, you don't know the life of others, you don't know their existence, and you don't know the past where they're coming from. So it's important that you look towards your spiritual power from a personal point of view, and how you can harness that spiritual power to serve others in a better way. It is not for me to judge anybody and what they're doing. It's not for me to make a judgment on someone, because that in effect reduces my spiritual power. That I become aware of that, and I do it. You know, we all do it. We all fall into the trap. But as we continually become aware and take action on the awareness, our spiritual power gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and therefore so does our discernment. We then get more positive and more powerful in being able to not only discern messages from the other side, but to discern spirit, to discern things in our life, to discern information, to discern the subtle changes and nuances in a vibrational capacity of something that helps us to harness the power of our intuition. So the very simple answer to developing your spiritual power and developing your discernment is you, and only you can do it. A course is not going to do it, and that's only going to give you theory and mechanics. You have to take the spiritual awareness into spiritual action. Guys, if you've got any questions, if you want to know more, if you'd like to discuss this in any deeper way, then please do so. Make sure, if you are watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to the channel for a lot more information. If you've got any questions, then just send a message or hit us up. And if you want to get direct interaction with me, you'll find me on Instagram under @spiritualmedium. That's where you'll find me. So thank you for spending time for me. I hope I've answered that question to the people that asked me, and I look forward to the next one. God bless, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.